Well, I think I see a lot more opportunities to talk about it, number one. I see that there's a lot of growth. If you look at, one example, if you look at Palestine Solidarity Week, which began maybe 5 years ago, 7 years ago, with just a couple of colleges holding week-long events or maybe bringing out a speaker. I think this year there were 100 or so, 120 different colleges, universities. I know I spoke at 3 during that week, and some of them were in Canada. I mean, they're everywhere. There's an aware, and these are important because people are listening and people are becoming aware. So there's a lot more talk about this. People are becoming more aware, more sensitive to this. The BDS, the boycott, divestment, sanctions against Israel is growing, and people are beginning to look at it in terms of, maybe there's something to it. I think this whole prisoners thing is going to bring, shedding a new light. I mean, CNN did a couple of reports on this. I heard another report on the news coming up on public radio. I mean, some of the people, more and more people are talking about these things. So there's definitely a change in that, And how deep it is in terms of getting into the Jewish community, getting into actually making change, it's hard to see yet. But there's definitely a lot more discussion.
Yeah, I remember, when I first started doing this kind of thing in college, which was a long time ago, relatively speaking, I remember, saying things like, saying the word Palestine was a very, very big deal back in the 80s.
Yeah.
And now it's sort of common, even the White House talks about a Palestinian state, at least theoretically. So I think, things have shifted a lot in the past several years. I know the audience, I'm sure, is keen to ask questions. Let me just ask one more question.